Welcome to the Dub Dive. Today, we're doing what we love doing best. We're digging into a bunch of real-life stories, experiences people have had, overcoming challenges, learning stuff, chasing their dreams. And the goal here is to pull out those really practical bits of wisdom.
Exactly. We're looking for the insights hidden in these personal accounts.
Think of this deep dive as, well, maybe a shortcut. A way to get at the heart of persistence, confidence, and how learning actually happens in the real world, especially something like, say, getting fluent in English.
Yeah, there's some powerful stuff in these journeys we're looking at today.
Okay, so let's jump right in. Often the biggest hurdle, the very first one, is just making that tough call, taking that first step when you don't know what's coming.
That step out of the comfort zone. It's always the hardest, isn't it?
It really is. We found this great story about a guy named Daniel. So Daniel, he had this job, pretty stable, manager in a small company in his hometown, comfortable.
The kind of job you could just stay in, right?
Exactly. But then, boom, this offer lands. Higher pay, bigger company, but in a completely new city.
The classic dilemma.
Right. It meant leaving everything familiar behind, friends, family, the whole routine. He apparently agonized over it for days.
I bet. Security versus, well, potential growth.
Yeah. His wife, Emma, she was supportive, but kind of gently pushed him, asking him to think about what truly mattered long term.
That's good framing.
And then he got this piece of advice from an old teacher, Mr. Smith. He said, sometimes the hardest choices lead to the best experiences. Don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone.
That's powerful advice. Did he take it?
He did. He took the job. And it wasn't easy at first. New city, tougher work, missing home.
Of course. That adjustment period is always rough.
But he stuck with it. He adapted, got better at his job, even got promoted. And looking back, he said it was, quote, the best decision he had ever made.
Daniel's story really highlights that common fear of change, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And how often the positive outcomes we don't see are waiting just past that initial discomfort.
Yeah, that growth edge just outside the familiar.
So what do you think is the biggest psychological block there? Even when logically the move seems like a good idea.
Oh, that's a good question, I think. I think it's just that deep-seated fear of the unknown. We're wired for comfort, maybe.
Probably. We like predictability.
It reminds me, actually, of when I moved for work years ago. Completely new city, didn't know a soul.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Similar situation.
Pretty much. Great job opportunity, but leaving everyone behind. It was a mix of excitement and pure terror, honestly.
Could imagine.
And those first few months were definitely challenging. Everything felt weirdly difficult. I remember standing in a grocery store once, completely lost, couldn't even find the bread.
It's those small things, right? They just amplify the strangeness.
Totally. But, slowly you adapt, made some friends, found my spots, got comfortable in the job. And looking back, so glad I did it. It taught me a lot about, my own resilience, I guess.
And that's it, isn't it? Those little moments like navigating the grocery store, those are the building blocks. Mm-hmm. They build that resilience, that confidence that you can handle new things.
Yeah, exactly. It makes you less afraid of the next big decision.
It's interesting how sometimes it's that internal push or maybe encouragement from someone else that helps overcome that initial fear. Did you come across other stories like that where belief played a big role?
Oh, absolutely. Michael's story comes to mind straight away. He loved cooking, really loved it since he was a kid. Learned from his mom, always experimenting.
A natural passion then.
Totally. But his dad, very traditional businessman type, thought cooking was fine as a hobby, but not a serious career. Wanted him in an office, stable salary, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, the clash of expectations. It's tough.
Yeah, Michael felt really torn, but his mom gave him this amazing encouragement. She basically said, you only have one life, Michael. If cooking makes you happy, go for it.
Good for her.
Right. Then this big opportunity came up, a famous culinary school competition, the prize, a full scholarship.
Wow, high stakes.
Huge stakes. And Michael, he'd never competed like that. He was full of self-doubt. What if I'm not good enough? What if I let my dad down?
That internal pressure.
Immense. But he entered anyway, practiced like crazy for weeks, early mornings, late nights, perfecting everything.
Dedication.
Absolutely. Competition day, he's super nervous, hands shaking, the works. But he cooks his dish, judges taste it, and after what felt like forever, they call his name. He won.
That's fantastic.
The best part, though, he called his dad that night. And after a pause, his dad says, I might not have understood before, but I see your talent now. If this is what you want, I support you.
Wow. That's a turnaround.
Huge. So Michael goes off to culinary school, works hard, and now he's a chef, has his own restaurant, and his dad is apparently his biggest supporter.
That's just brilliant. It really speaks to believing in yourself even when others don't, right? That conviction fueled by passion and hard work, it can actually change minds. It's a great lesson in trusting your gut.
It really is. Okay, so you take that first leap, that brave step, but then comes the long haul, right?
Yeah.
The real work.
Mm-hmm. Persistence and consistency. That's the next big theme we saw.
Yeah, it's not just starting, it's keeping going.
Exactly.
I remember meeting this guy, Jack, brilliant law student, huge dream, work for a top international law firm.
Right.
But his English was a major roadblock.
The language barrier. That's a common one.
Yeah, he really struggled, especially with legal terms. Felt like his English would just never be good enough. You could see the doubt.
Understandable. What changed for him?
Well, we were talking, and I sort of shared my own experience with moving, that feeling of being overwhelmed. And I told him something like, Jack, every mistake, that's a step forward. Don't aim for perfect, just aim for a little better each day.
Simple advice, but powerful.
He really latched onto it, started putting in extra time every single day, legal English, general practice, even watching English legal dramas on TV.
He committed.
Totally committed. And the results were honestly amazing. His English improved dramatically. He got an internship, then a full-time job at his dream firm. He told me later, if you keep pushing, you really can achieve anything.
It's interesting. Jack's story really brings up that point about perceived ability versus method.
Mm-hmm.
Often, it's not that someone can't do something.
It's that they haven't found the right way to learn it yet. Yeah.
Exactly. And his consistent daily effort, even small amounts, it just compounded over time. That's the key.
Absolutely. Showing up every day. It makes me think of Laura's story, too. She was passionate about photography, like deeply passionate.
Okay.
But her parents, very traditional, not a real job, focus on your studies, they really disapproved.
Similar to Michael's situation then.
Yeah, and it made Laura doubt herself hugely. She actually talked to me once, feeling really lost about it all. I remember saying something like, look, you can't live your life for other people. You have to follow what makes you happy.
Did that help?
I think it did. She decided to enroll in a photography course. It wasn't easy. She struggled with the technical stuff at first.
Learning curves are real.
Definitely. But she didn't quit. She practiced every day, experimenting, editing for hours, building her portfolio, sharing stuff online. Slowly, people started noticing her work.
That slow build.
Exactly. The big moment came when a local gallery invited her to exhibit her photos. Her parents came, still skeptical. But when they saw people admiring her work, really connecting with it, they finally got it, became totally supportive.
That's fantastic. Shows how that internal drive, that passion, it fuels the persistence, doesn't it? And eventually, it can lead to that external validation, even changing the minds of doubters.
It really can, and sometimes you don't even realize where that persistence will lead. Take Tom's story. He described himself as an average guy, stuck in a corporate data analyst job.
Feeling trapped in the routine.
Totally. He said he felt stuck, no room for growth, just losing himself. But secretly, he loved photography, nature, cityscapes.
Hidden passion.
Yeah, he was almost embarrassed about it. Like, it was just a silly hobby. I remember telling him, Tom, it's never too late. You don't have to quit your job tomorrow. Just start small. See where it goes.
That start small approach. Very practical.
He was hesitant, but a few weeks later, he showed up with a camera. He'd signed up for a class, started carrying his camera everywhere, taking pictures, started a little blog.
Just dipping his toe in.
Exactly. And it just snowballed. People started asking him to do photo shoots. A local magazine featured his work.
Wow. Things took off.
They really did. And eventually, that led to him making the huge decision to quit the corporate gig and go full-time photographer. It just proves that sometimes the tiniest first step can lead to massive change down the line.
Tom's story is a perfect illustration of that start small idea. Those consistent little actions, driven by interest, they can open doors you didn't even know existed. It's about letting that curiosity lead you one step at a time.
And sometimes that path, it isn't straightforward at all. It can be long, winding. Which brings me to Maria. Her story is incredibly powerful, I think.
Okay, tell me about Maria.
Lifelong dream. Become a teacher. But money was tight, so she couldn't afford college right away. Ended up working in a grocery store for years.
Oh, wow. So the dream felt like it was slipping away.
Completely. She felt really stuck. But then one day, this elderly customer she'd helped said something wise. Life never takes a straight path, but that doesn't mean you should stop walking.
Simple but profound.
It really stuck with her. She couldn't afford traditional college, so she looked into online courses, found one she could manage.
So she started studying on the side.
Yep. Working all day at the store, then studying late nights, weekends, for 2 years straight. She said she was exhausted, wanted to quit so many times, but she kept hearing that old man's words.
That takes incredible dedication. Grit.
Totally. She finally earned her teaching certificate, faced some rejections finding a job initially, which was tough.
Of course. More hurdles?
But she kept at it. And finally, she landed a position teaching students who were really struggling. And her own experience, her own long, hard journey, it made her the perfect teacher for them. She understood their struggles.
That's a beautiful outcome. Marie's journey, wow. It's not just perseverance, it's about that long-term vision, the power of sticking with something even when it feels impossible.
Never giving up, even when the path is indirect.
Yeah. All these stories, Jack, Laura, Tom, Maria, they really drive home that point. Persistence is that bridge. It connects where you are now to where you want to be. Every small effort adds up.
Okay, so we've heard these inspiring stories. Now, let's maybe pivot a bit and talk about the how. What are the concrete strategies we can pull from this? Especially thinking about learning something like English, but really, these apply anywhere.
Absolutely. Let's get practical. Daniel's English journey is a great example here. He proved that often the problem is not ability, it's the method.
Right. He changed how he was learning.
Exactly. He ditched the textbooks, mostly, started focusing on real-life English. Like he'd play English podcasts in the background while he was working as a mechanic.
Just passive listening to start.
Yeah, not stressing about understanding every word, just getting his ear used to the sounds, the rhythm. Then he moved to speaking. Started small, practicing, introducing himself. Then he started talking to himself while working.
Like narrating what he was doing?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretending to explain car repairs to an English speaker. The key was he wasn't worried about making mistakes, just getting comfortable producing the sounds.
That takes guts.
It does. But in about a year, he went from struggling to having confident conversations with tourists, understanding movies. He also found an online language exchange partner. It really highlights that active, real-world use is crucial.
That really hits home for me. That idea of small daily habits lead to big results. I remember learning guitar. Celebrating just getting one chord to ring out clearly. That tiny win kept me going. Same with English study. I used to think I needed these marathon sessions, but honestly, 15, 20 minutes consistently every day. Way more effective in the long run. It just builds.
Precisely. It's about building momentum. So let's break down a kind of toolkit based on these principles. Strategies for effective learning, whether it's language or anything else.
Okay, let's hear it.
First up, creating an immersion environment. This is huge. Simple things like change your phone language to English.
Ooh, good one. Forces you to interact with it.
Right. Watch English movies, TV shows, but use English subtitles. That connects the sound to the written word. And crucially, find English content podcasts, YouTube, articles about stuff you're actually interested in. Cooking, sports, whatever.
Keeps it engaging, not a chore. Makes sense.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Second, active speaking practice. You got to use it. Talk to yourself in English every day. Describe your day, your thoughts out loud.
Even if nobody's listening.
Especially then. No pressure. Find conversation partners online. Hello Talk, Tandem, lots of options. Or look for local language groups.
Get that real interaction.
Yeah. And try shadowing.
Yeah.
This is a powerful one. Listen to a native speaker news podcast and immediately repeat what they say. Try to mimic their exact pronunciation, rhythm, intonation.
Like being their echo.
Pretty much. It trains your mouth and ears together. Also, practice role-playing common situations, ordering food, asking directions. Get those phrases down pat. And a key thing, focus on speaking clearly, even if it's slow. Don't rush to sound fluent. Clarity first.
Good point. Clarity over speed. Okay, what else?
Third, effective listening comprehension. You need to train your ear, expose yourself to different accents, American, British, Australian, Irish.
Get used to the variety.
Right. Practice active listening. Don't just let it wash over you. Pause recordings, replay tricky bits, focus on the main ideas first. Don't get bogged down in every single word.
Listen for the gist.
Exactly. Listen to different types of English science podcasts, stories, interviews, music. Broaden your exposure. Use captions when watching videos. Respond to what you hear, repeat phrases. Summarize it mentally. And don't be afraid to slow down the playback speed if you need to.
Tools are there to help. Use them.
Precisely. Fourth, meaningful writing practice. Keep a journal in English, even just 10-15 minutes a day. Focus on getting your thoughts down.
Expressing ideas, not perfection.
Right. Use online tools for feedback on your writing later. Join English-speaking forums or social media groups about your hobbies. Practice that informal, real-world writing. Get the ideas out first, then worry about polishing grammar.
Okay, immersion, speaking, listening, writing. What about mindset?
Crucial. Fifth area, essential mindsets and habits. Number 1, embrace mistakes. Seriously, saying book read instead of reading books, that's not failure, that's data. Learn from it.
Mistakes are learning opportunities.
Totally. Accept feedback gracefully. It's a gift. Next, build confidence through action. Confidence doesn't come from just knowing stuff. It comes from doing stuff. Making that scary phone call in English, giving that presentation.
Confidence follows action. Got it.
Set realistic small goals. Don't aim for fluent by Christmas. Aim for learn 10 new words this week or have one 10-minute English chat. Achievable steps.
Keeps you motivated.
Exactly. Track your progress somehow. Keep a simple journal of what you learned. Celebrate those small wins. Stay curious. Explore things you genuinely enjoy in English. And finally, adapt to context. Business English isn't the same as chatting with friends. Recognize the differences.
That's a really comprehensive toolkit.
And the thing is, these aren't just language learning tips. These are principles for learning anything, for tackling any challenge, really. Building resilience, building confidence. It applies across the board.
Wow. Yeah, when you lay it out like that, this deep dive really ties it all together, doesn't it? Whether you're trying to master English or chase some big life dream, it boils down to that mix.
Courage to start.
The persistence to keep going.
And using smart, consistent habits.
Yeah. Every story we looked at, from Daniel taking that job leap to Maria's incredibly long road to teaching, it shows that growth isn't just one big bang. It's all those small, deliberate steps adding up.
It really is. And maybe that leads to a final thought, a question for everyone listening. What is one small, consistent action you can take today? Right now, even if it feels tiny, maybe even a bit uncomfortable. What's one step that moves you just a little bit closer to a goal you have or helps you tackle a challenge you've been putting off?
That's a great question to end on, something practical to think about. Reflect on your own journey, your own progress. And like we said, celebrate every step no matter how small it feels. You really have got this.